The movie begins on the night of Christmas Eve. A senior manager at a company, Angela, wanted to finish her work quickly and go home because she wanted to celebrate Christmas with her family. But when she went to the office basement to start her car, it wouldn't start. She thought it might be a technical problem, so she didn't think too much, took out the gift from the car and stepped out. As Angela climbed the stairs, she saw that the door was locked. She didn't have the key to that floor. Out of desperation, she went down towards the security room to seek help from the guard. The moment she opened the security room door, a dog barks at her. The security guard Thomas came and controlled the dog. When Angela told him about her problem, he says it will be difficult to find a cab this late at night. So why doesn't he fix her car so she can get home sooner? Angela agrees, and they both go to her car. Thomas charges the car battery and asks Angela to start the car, but it still doesn't start. Thomas says he will try again, but Angela tells him not to bother and says she will take a cab instead. As they walk back, Thomas suddenly says something strange to Angela. "Madam, will you have dinner with me tonight? I don't like being alone." Angela felt a little uncomfortable, but politely refused. After reaching upstairs, she booked an Ola Uber cab, and while waiting, she dozed off on a bench. She was unaware that someone was watching her every move. After a while, the cab arrived. As soon as Angela tries to go outside, she sees that the exit door is also locked. She tells the cab driver to wait for a while. She went back towards the security room, but when she got there, she saw that the cab had already left. Panicking, she picked up her phone, but the signal was gone. She realized that something was wrong. Just then, all the basement lights went out. The very next moment, Thomas grabbed her from behind. When her eyes opened, she found herself chained in a small room. In front of her stood Thomas, who looked completely different now. There was obsession and madness in his eyes. Thomas slowly said, "I live just by seeing you. I know you are a big officer, and I am just a security guard, but I've wanted you for a long time." Angela screamed angrily, "Are you crazy? Let me go." But he ignored her and continued to tell her the story of his love. He tried to convince her, but Angela, out of fear, maintained her composure. She told him that her boyfriend was on his way, and if she didn't show up, people would come looking for her. Thomas laughed and said, "Madam, I have checked everything. You are a workaholic. You don't have time for anyone. No boyfriend, no friends." Now Angela changed her strategy. She played the emotional card. "My mom and dad are waiting for me. If I don't reach home, they will be very scared. Please, just let me talk to them once." Thomas thought for a while, then brought a phone and gave it to her. Trembling, Angela called her dad and just said in 2 lines, "I am fine, Mom. I will be a little late in coming home." Thomas stood right behind her the whole time, watching her every breath. After putting the phone down, Thomas smiled and placed a box in front of her. "This is for you." As soon as Angela opened the box, there was something inside that gave the story its biggest shock. Thomas showed Angela a video. It was of her company's boss doing something inappropriate with Angela at a party while he was drunk. Thomas had recorded this video with the security camera that night. There was anger in Thomas's eyes. He said, "I'm showing you all this so you know that I haven't forgotten what happened to you. Now the time has come for justice." As he began to unlock Angela's chains, Angela saw her chance, picked up a nearby fork, and attacked him. But surprisingly, Thomas didn't get angry. He calmly put handcuffs on Angela's hands and made her sit in his car. After a while, Thomas took her to the 4th level of the underground parking lot. "There," he said, "I have another surprise for you." Angela's heart started beating fast. As soon as she looked ahead, she saw her boss tied to a chair, like a criminal. Thomas said, "Go now, and tell him that in office politics, there is no place to play with a woman's honor." Angela was stunned. She started saying loudly, "No, don't do this. He was drunk that day, and he apologized. Everything is fine now." But Thomas seemed not to hear. He, boiling with anger, took an iron rod and went towards the boss. Thomas started beating the boss badly. When his anger subsided, he looked at Angela and then started the car. He drove the car straight towards the boss and ran him over. Angela screamed and cried, but Thomas didn't stop. And then, a small mistake by Thomas gave Angela a chance. She got out of the car and ran away. She ran and ran until she reached the security room. Thomas was not there. She went inside, but a dog was chained there. It couldn't harm her. Walking along the wall, she finally found her phone. She saw that Thomas was still busy disposing of the boss's body. She immediately ran outside, somehow reached a door, and started screaming loudly. "Is anyone there? Help me." But the entire area was deserted. There was no answer. She held her phone up to the outside to find a network. After a while, she got a signal. As soon as she was about to dial a number, Thomas's terrifying voice came. Angela was startled, dropped her phone, and the phone rolled away on the floor. She tried to grab it, but the phone was out of her reach, and then her hand scraped against the floor, becoming bloody. Blood was flowing from Angela's hands. Crying out in pain, she even bit her fingertips to free herself from the handcuffs. She now understood that Thomas had already closed all the exits of the building, so it was impossible to get out. Just then, Thomas's voice came. With the car key he had stolen from the security room earlier, she finally managed to get out of the basement, and as soon as she entered the lift, Thomas came running from behind. Angela quickly closed the lift door. The lift was not going up. Thomas had locked it. The lift was going down towards basement 2. Angela pressed the emergency button in the middle of the way and stopped the lift. Then she started making a rescue call from the lift. Angela thought God had answered her prayer. But then, a familiar name was called out from the intercom. "Angela." It was Thomas's voice. All hope drained from Angela's face. She sat down on the floor, tired and defeated. Thomas started breaking the lift door with a rod, and then put a pipe inside, with water filling the lift rapidly. The lift had now become a sinking tank. Angela tried to push the water out of the corners of the lift again and again, but it was no use. And then Thomas brought a dead body and threw it into the lift. The body was of another security guard from the same building who always helped Angela. He again pressed the emergency button and moved the lift down. She somehow reached basement and got out from there. It was winter, and the atmosphere below was even colder. Angela huddled in a corner, trembling in fear. But Thomas no longer cared about anyone. He played DJ music in the security room and started dancing like a fool. Angela understood that he was watching her all the time through the cameras. Now her fear turned into anger. She ran to the fire station box, broke the glass, and picked up a fire axe, using it to break all the CCTV cameras. By the time Thomas realized what was happening, Angela had reached the security room. She went inside and saw that Thomas and his pet dog were both gone. But a video was playing on the TV. It was something that shook Angela to her core. She broke the TV. Just then, 2 police officers were seen coming from outside. Angela wanted to run outside, but then Thomas, again, quietly came from behind and electrocuted her, making her unconscious. The police came in. Thomas, now in a clean suit, looked completely normal. The police were suspicious, but they couldn't find any solid evidence. Meanwhile, Angela was regaining consciousness. She was locked in the trunk of a car. She heard the police voices from outside, but Thomas had turned the music up so loud that her voice couldn't be heard outside. Angela knew that this was probably her last attempt. She opened the toolbox in the car, and with a heavy wrench, started hitting the trunk lock hard. Finally, the lock broke open. She quickly got out and ran to save her life. Angela kept running, but it was too late. When she reached the place where she had hoped for help, the police had already left. In front of her stood the same person again, Thomas and his pet dog. Trembling with fear, Angela turned back and started running, but Thomas unleashed the dog. The dog was now chasing Angela like a wild animal. Angela knew that she couldn't run much farther. She immediately broke the window of a nearby car and got inside. She thought she was safe now, but the next moment was even more terrifying. The dog jumped from behind and got inside the car. Angela had an iron rod in her hand with which she fought desperately. She did get some wounds, but she finally killed the dog. Now she ran towards the security room again. She broke the door and tried to pick up the phone, but the wires had been completely cut. No police call could be made now. Angela started searching here and there. She found a locker that had keys to many cars. As soon as she picked up a few of them, Thomas came back. He saw the dog's body and became enraged. He started searching for Angela. He saw a blood-stained hand on the door and understood that Angela was inside. He rushed inside and went towards the cupboard where he saw a corner of Angela's clothes. But it was a trap. As soon as he bent down, Angela attacked him from behind and ran away. Now another chase scene began. Angela was roaming between the cars with the keys. As soon as a car's horn honked, she quickly got into it and started the car. Thomas tried to block the way, but Angela drove away from there. After a while, Angela saw Thomas again at a turn. This time, there was a stillness on his face instead of madness. There was no fear in Angela's eyes now, but anger. She pressed the accelerator hard. As the car hit Thomas, he stepped back. Angela breathed a sigh of relief. But then the handcuffs on her hands, the speed of the car, and the storm of emotions. The car skidded and overturned. Thomas smiled and slowly came near the car. He thought it was all over, but as he bent down, Angela grabbed his throat. As if a new courage had filled her, she kept choking him until Thomas became unconscious. She took his key, unlocked her handcuffs, and tied Thomas in the same car. She was about to walk away, but then Thomas's voice came, "You won't escape. I'll come back again." Angela stopped for a moment. Then she looked back. There was no mercy in her eyes now. She poured the car's petrol on the ground and set it on fire. In this way, Thomas paid a heavy price for his sins. How did you like this movie? Do let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Moviehood.